Ghost Rider, you remember it, bruh? 2007 fever dream where Nicolas Cage sold his soul to the devil and ended up as a flaming skull on a motorcycle. For a lot of us, this movie was one of those DVDs you had as a kid that you thought was the most badass thing ever. Like, his head was literally on fire, he had a chain that wrapped around him, he rode up a building in a motorcycle while being a skeleton on fire and the motorcycle is on fire. What more could a 10-year-old possibly want? I remember watching those YouTube music videos with Skillet blasting over the scenes, and due to copyright being a thing, enjoy my beautiful cover of the song. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. A masterpiece. I know. Where's my applause? Then you grow up, re-watch it, and suddenly it's like, oh no. This isn't as cool as I remember. But here's the thing, was it really that bad, or did time, memes, and the rise of Marvel's mega empire just make it look worse? This is Ghost Rider. Was it really that bad? Before we get into this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It only takes a second and it helps me out a lot. I'm trying to reach 2,000 subscribers and every single one of you gets me closer to reaching that goal. Alright, now back to the video. Let's start with the obvious. Nicolas Cage. Now, Nic Cage is like a cinematic wildcard. You never quite know which version you're getting. Oscar winner Nic Cage, or the guy who agreed to be in Willy's Wonderland and just silently murder animatronics for like 90 minutes. But in Ghost Rider, you get both. The man swings from calm, tortured hero to I just drank jelly beans out of a martini glass while listening to the Carpenters.
And my Ghost Rider didn't eat jelly beans and listen to Karen Carpenter. So
yeah, my Ghost Rider does, because that's me. That's my own life. I thought if you were trying to keep evil spirits away, you wouldn't invite them in with a glass of gin or satanic rock music. You would try to keep them away with maybe the vocal stylings of Karen Carpenter and just a little bit of sin and some jelly beans.
Now, the movie itself starts off fine. It's got that early 2000s comic book movie, gritty voiceover, tragic backstory, sepia filters that make everything look like it was filmed through a beer bottle. Young Johnny Blaze makes a deal with the devil to save his dad from cancer, and then his dad dies immediately in a motorcycle crash. Wow. Mephistopheles, played by Peter Fonda. Yes, Easy Rider Peter Fonda, because subtlety is dead. Shows up like, surprise kid, I own your soul now, and then disappears for like 20 years. Now cut to grown-up Johnny Blaze, who's now a famous stunt performer who apparently can survive any crash ever. He's basically Evel Knievel meets Hot Wheels. Every jump he does gets more ridiculous, like he is one stunt away from launching himself into space. Then Eva Mendes shows up as Roxanne, his old flame, a blast from the past if you want, and the movie immediately forgets how human conversations work. Every romantic scene between them feels like two aliens trying to mimic what flirting sounds like. Then there's the transformation scene. You know the one. Johnny goes full Ghost Rider for the first time, and suddenly we're watching Nicolas Cage scream, laugh, and melt in the same shot like he's having an exorcism and a midlife crisis at once. But say what you want about the movie, this scene is iconic. It's pure Cage. No restraint, no filter, just him transforming into the most badass character ever put on screen. And for a brief moment, you kinda get it. You see what the movie could have been if it leaned into that insane heavy metal energy the whole time. But then comes the villains. Oh, the villains. You'd think a movie about literal demon bounty hunter would have some cool monsters, right? Not really. We get Blackheart, Mephisto's emo son. He's played by Wes Bentley, who seems to have been told to just whisper every line like he's reading poetry. And his goons, the elemental demons of wind, water, and earth, all die faster than background characters when an anime character needs motivation to transform. One gets turned into sand, one gets boiled alive, one gets blown away by wind. Yeah. Ghost Rider kills the wind demon with wind. Sure, the wind was on fire, but still. And then we get the action. Now, to be fair, some of the effects hold up way better than you think. The fire surprisingly still looks decent, like it's not MCU level realistic, but it still looks good. You can tell they tried. Also, another problem with the action is that every fight scene ends in about 15 seconds. Ghost Rider shows up, stares at someone, does the pointy thing, whips his chain, and the fight's over. over. The movie spends 80 minutes building up to the moments that last shorter than a TikTok. But the weirdest thing about the movie, for me at least, is how inconsistent the tone is. One minute it's trying to be this gothic horror tragedy about sin and redemption, and the next it's a slapstick comedy about Nic Cage being weird. It's impossible to tell which emotions the movie wants you to feel at certain times. And another part of the movie that has to be talked about is the dialogue. It's rough, like fan fiction material rough. Every line feels like it was written by someone who just finished reading one comic book and thought he understands how everything works. But here's the thing, as messy, awkward, and downright cheesy the Ghost Rider movie is, it's not boring. And that's kind of the secret sauce. Even when it's bad, it's entertainingly bad. Nic Cage sells every scene like his life depends on it. And looking at the fact he declared bankruptcy 2 years after the movie, it probably did. Either way, it works. He's magnetic. You gotta give him that. He could act. And we have to remember that this was pre-MCU. Back then, superhero movies were either dark or ridiculous. But Ghost Rider kinda lived in the middle of all this. It wasn't gritty enough to be taken seriously, but it also wasn't funny enough to be camp. It just sat there. But the movie also had sincerity to it. Like, it believed in its own nonsense. And there's something oddly charming about that. And they succeeded in that. So was Ghost Rider that bad as some people say it is? Honestly, no, not at all. It's not a very good movie, but it's not a terrible movie either. It's right in the middle. It's a perfect turn off your brain and enjoy movie. It's a relic of a time when comic book movies didn't have to be perfect. They just had to be fun. If anything, Ghost Rider deserved a better movie, but maybe deep down, it's perfect in the way it is. It's chaotic, it's a flaming mess of ambition, CGI, and just Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. It's a kind of movie that could only exist in 2007. So yeah, Ghost Rider might not be a perfect movie. Some people might say it's even a bad movie, but it's the good kind of bad. The kind that sticks with you. And honestly, that's all that really matters. And with all the rumors of Nicolas Cage possibly returning for Avengers as Ghost Rider, I really hope to see him ride off once again.